This is Autoline Daily, the show dedicated to enthusiasts of the global automotive industry. When the EU put tariffs on imported Chinese EVs, Chinese automakers shifted more of their sales to PHEVs and hybrids, and that strategy has been a big success. Chinese automakers doubled their sales in Europe last month, according to a report from Dataforce. From January to August, they boosted sales 74% and sold over 430,000 vehicles. At this rate, you gotta believe that Chinese automakers are on track to sell 1 million cars in Europe in another year or two. And this is in a market that is not growing, meaning European automakers are quickly losing market share. And if this leads to more layoffs, it wouldn't be surprising to see Europe decide it needs tariffs on all Chinese imports, not just electrics. And just to drive that point home, Stellantis is closing one of its assembly plants in France for a couple of weeks due to weak demand. That plant employs about 2,000 people and makes the DS3 an Opel Mocha. Meanwhile, the CEO of ZF warns that if the EU keeps its ban on IC engines in 2035, people will rush out to buy the last of the petrol cars, and then the industry will go into a slump that will last for several years. European automakers are practically begging the EU to drop the ICE ban, and they're likely to get at least some sort of delay that will be announced before the year is over. Now let's jump over to the States, where California Governor Gavin Newsom says that General Motors CEO Mary Barra sold out the state over its ban of ICE vehicles in 2035. Newsom accuses Barra of leading the effort in the U.S. Congress to stop California's ICE ban. GM declined to comment, but that blocked ban is likely going to become a political hot potato.
The automotive and industrial sectors are undergoing a historic transformation. Electrification, digitalization, supply chain reinvention, regulatory shifts. The pace is accelerating and the pressure to adapt is real. This is not a time for hesitation. It's a time for bold decisions, backed by fast, effective execution. You need a partner who understands complexity, from factory floors to boardrooms, and delivers measurable results. That partner is Alex Partners, when it really matters.
Stellantis continues to scale back its EV plans in the U.S. Last week, the automaker announced it canceled development of the all-electric Ram 1500 pickup truck, and now Stellantis is canceling the plug-in hybrid version of the Jeep Gladiator, which was supposed to debut this year. The company says it's reinvesting funding into the pickup to offer more features and powertrain options. With the Trump administration eliminating fines for missing CO2 targets, Stellantis no longer needed the plug-in Gladiator to meet emission goals. Also, the automaker is losing money and needs to cut costs anywhere that it can. As autonomous robo-taxis start showing up in cities all around the world, Opel developed a way for an AV to communicate with pedestrians. It uses a light bar in the front grille to display simple messages. When the car is operating in level 3 hands-free driving mode, the light bar changes to a bright blue. A green-colored icon of a pedestrian with a check mark next to it means that it's safe to walk in front of the vehicle. A purple-colored palm means that it's not safe to pass in front. Opel says it wanted to use colors that aren't used for other vehicle functions like red or orange. Lighting companies have been showing off all kinds of concepts to display messages, but this is one of the first concepts that we've seen from a car company. The Mercedes-AMG Formula One team is making sustainability a greater priority. Not long ago, we reported how it used fully electric semi-trucks to haul its race cars to the track. And now it's integrating sustainable carbon fiber components into its cars for the first time. These parts replace 30% of the traditional resin material with renewable sources. And interestingly, they're being used in an extreme environment for the rear brake duct wheel shields. These sustainable composite materials debuted at last weekend's Azerbaijan Grand Prix, where Mercedes drivers finished 2nd and 4th respectively. People love their pets, which is why Bentley is coming out with dog accessories that are tailor-made for the Bentayga SUV. There's specially fitted mats and a dog and luggage divider. But the most interesting to us is a camera system that can be used to record your pets. However, no word on pricing. Tom Matano, the man who designed the original MX-5 Miata, has died at 77 years old. Matano joined Mazda in 1983 and was responsible for many vehicles throughout his 28-year career. But he's best known for designing the Miata, which would go on to become the best-selling two-seat roadster in history. The model debuted at the 1989 Chicago Auto Show, and since then, Mazda has sold 1.2 million worldwide. But that brings us to the end of today's show. Thanks for making Autoline a part of your day.
Autoline Daily is brought to you by Alex Partners, when it really matters. CSP, the Composites Solution Partner. Intrepid Control Systems, over-the-air engineering, boost your game. And thanks to the following YouTube and Patreon members.
Developing today's vehicles. Issues can happen in an instant. When's the best time to solve a problem? The minute you know you have one. Meet Wireless NeoVi Cloud, your secure, off-the-shelf solution empowering real-time collaboration for quick resolution. With Wireless NeoVi Cloud, your team can prevent issues before they can escalate. Driver communication data and remote diagnostics to analyze and resolve your problems using OTA, allowing your executives oversight throughout the process. Wireless NeoVi Cloud, your vehicle update solution in production and on the road. Intrepid Control Systems, driven by your data.
At CSP, we work with OEM engineers across the country on their journeys to lighter, safer, and more eco-friendly vehicles. Learn more at thecsp.com.